Hello and welcome. In this video I'll be showing you how to drop cargo and paratroopers out the back of the Anubis C-130J mod. Now this is version 6.8.2. If you're watching this and there is a newer version out, it may be that you need to disregard this as things may have changed. But if not, and you're still using 6.8.2, then continue watching and hopefully this will be some help. Right, so as you can see we're on the ground. We've got the back door open. Now we want to load up with our cargo. So comms, ground crew, rearm, refuel. Now these three boxes at the end here are the ones that we'll be using today. Now we are going to be using the pod section, and we are also going to be using air. So anything with air next to it, which means it can be dropped from altitude and not on skids, so that you have to be low down to drop it out the back. So we're just going to go with Vulcan M163 airdrop. The same one for the, oh, maybe not, the Cobra, APC Cobra air. And for the middle, another Vulcan M163. Now, when I click OK, you'll see that things will start to be loaded in. We can now close the cargo ramp. And we're ready to roll. So just quickly we'll show the controls that you need. Now all of that was done manually with the communications and the mouse. Everything else that you'll need once I get up in the air are in the cargo hold section. So you want cargo deploy aft, forward and middle. You'll also want to assign buttons or switches to your ramp for opening and closing, and you're also going to need to assign a button for your paratroop doors. Now regarding the cargo ramp door, if you start it up cold, then you'll know that you will need to, if we get inside the cockpit, just down here to our right is an auxiliary pump for the door. You will need to switch that on to let it build up before the door will actually work. So I like to keep that topped up, so keep that at 3000. Now what I'm going to do is get the aircraft in the air, and then we'll get to a decent speed and altitude and go to the drop zone, which is the disused airfield just north of Batumi. So I'm going to cut to takeoff. We're at the end of the runway at Kobaleti, ready to roll. Just before we do get going, so I'd show you this if I hadn't already. Go to adjust controls, down through to station control. Now pressing the numbered buttons at the top of the keyboard from 1 to 5 will take you through various stations. So 1 pilot seat, 2 co-pilot seat, 3 loadmaster, 4 cargo ramp, and 5 cannon target station. Now 3 will also be your battle station go-to for setting up the pylons and the cannons and all those lovely bits and pieces once we get into the armed versions of the C-130, but for the time being it's just the loadmaster, and then obviously 4 will be the other end of the cargo ramp. Now if we do this now, so if I press 3, we're in the loadmaster position. As you can see, this is the cargo most forward of the aircraft. We do have some controls here. You can turn the dome light on. Okay, it's a bit fiddly. There we go. Ramp door. These ones aren't. Oh, the panel light is also not working at the moment. And here is the lock controls for the crate, the pallet on the floor, the pallet locks. So you can do the ramp doors and jettison from in here as well. So go to 4. That'll put us down the other end by the ramp, which is there. And if we do a complete 360, you've got the pump controls there. Should have turned that up. I'm not sure why that's not worked. And then you've got controls for the doors, the paratrooper doors, and the cargo ramp. And up here, right, some obviously another dome light. Cargo loading light and other bits and pieces that will come online once we get up to different variations of the mod. Now jump back into the pilot's seat, pressing 1. Zoom out. Right, we're going to get ourselves up in the air, so put the flaps down to 50%. If we go to told aircraft weight, and that's fuel, cargo weight, everything's been calculated. If you do X data, that will now take it through to the next stage. If you press told for takeoff, this is the runway we're using, flaps that I've got, anti-skid is on, X data on that one, and then go to index, sorry. And click on takeoff data and then X data on that. That will transfer all of that onto here. So V1 for your refusal for takeoff, and to opt out is there. That's your rotate speed. And we've got it in more detail down here, climbing at 181 knots. Obviously I'm going to try and get off the runway a bit quicker because it's not the longest of runways here. So put the toe brakes on, throttle all the way up, get ready to wrestle with it because it will torque steer to the left. Brakes in 3, 2, 1, go. And we're rolling like we're going through treacle at the moment. Can never find a sweet spot. Okay, once we get over 70 knots it should calm down. There we go. Approaching V1. I think I'm going to have to pull up before we get to V1. Oh, and we're up. Gear up. Excellent. So we're now going past the rotate speed now. As you can see here, because all of the weights have been calculated, that is our stall speed. The chevron or caret for the stall area. So we don't want to be too aggressive with the aircraft because that stall speed does come shooting all the way up, and before you know it you're falling out of the sky. So I've been told in one of my previous videos in the comment section that the Paradrop is to be done from 1,300 feet at 110 knots. Now I'm not sure if that's the same for cargo, but I'm going to go with that anyway. And yeah, so we're going to climb to 1,300 feet. Once I'm up and stable and safely away from the stall area, I will bring the throttle back, drop the flaps, and get it to settle down to about 110 knots, and then we will make our drop over the disused airfield just over there to the left. You can see it just out in the distance. That's our target area there. Okay, so we're over. It doesn't matter too much. So bring the throttle back. Still bringing the altitude down. Bring a notch of flap down so we can. So our position 50% flaps at the moment. So. Just need to ignore the landing gear warnings because obviously that's not what we're intending on doing. Okay, so trim out. All the way back. Need to get down to 110 knots. Drop one more notch of flap. That's pushing it a bit too close to the edge there. Trim out. Okay, so we're making our approach. So we're going to want to open the ramp doors. So there we go. Back inside just to make sure I'm not climbing too steeply or dropping too steeply. I'll say that's close enough. And those three buttons that I showed you earlier before we took off, I'm going to work our way backwards. So start from the aft, getting close to the airfield now. Now the aircraft will lift once all the weight has gone. Start our drop now then. So aft, middle, fore. Okay, now we may have veered off slightly to the left, the right, sorry, but the drops have been made. Enough to the target area. I'm guessing that if I was in the real Royal Air Force I would have got an absolute bollocking for that, but hey, this isn't, so I'm lucky. Let's pull out of the not range. Okay, so let's do that again but with paratroopers. Just before I would drop the paratroopers, just wanted to show you quickly that paratroopers are only able to be equipped in the cargo bay in the forward section, which comes under pods, and then if you scroll down you'll see that it says a squad of 30 soldiers. Not sure why that's not available for the mid and aft sections, but yeah, that's all you can drop in this this version 30 at the moment. So let's get back into the sim. Right, so we're approaching the airfield. We've got 30 paratroopers on board and we want to drop them. Now, a couple of things that just need to quickly go over. So if we go to adjust controls, now you will need to set up wind deflector controls. Let's go to search. No, there you go, paratrooper air deflector. So you're going to want to set a button to extend and to retract, because when we open the doors we don't really want to be blasting them with 110 knot winds as soon as they jump out the aircraft. So a nice gentle breeze caused by the deflector would be a bit more pleasant. And then obviously we need to set a switch for the paratroop door, of which I mentioned at the beginning. But yeah, that and the air deflectors and the forward cargo unlock as well. So get back into it. As you can see, we're heading towards the airfield now. Parameters are almost spot on, just shy of 1,300 feet, and 4 knots quicker than we should be. Although I will add that the wind deflectors will act like an air brake, so it will slow the aircraft down as well. So if we go outside, I'm going to open the doors and open the deflectors, which is situated behind the sponsons there. Okay, go back in, and we've got a little bit of a side wind, and we've got a little bit of a slowdown because of the air deflectors. Okay, so I'm trying to keep this as spot on as possible. Okay. Right, so we'll go in the outside view. See if we've approached the airfield yet. Nearly there. Okay, so let's drop them. Oh, and they're all running out to the end there. Okay. So there's our paratroopers. They're off to do their whatever they're going to do. So we can now close the air deflectors. Air deflectors are now closed. We can close the paratrooper doors, and we can make our way back to the airfield. Now, if I'm quick enough, we may actually be able to see them descend if they're not down already. Down already, by looks things. Oh no, there's a few stragglers just dropping down there. And I've missed the airfield, so my aiming is just as good as my bombing. But anyway, that's how to drop cargo from the air, from parachute, both cargo and paratroopers. I've not done the skid at the moment. I will do that in another video, but anyway, I hope that's helped, and as always, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.